Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Dawn here. So today I'm with you with day number 5 of our Christmas, 12 days of Christmas. So I have been having a play and I thought this would be the perfect day number 5. So this is a card that I've already created. I've also done another couple and I thought, you know what, I'm going to come on and use this as one of my 12 days of Christmas, because these are going to be Christmas cards for some very dear friends of mine. So right, what I have got, so I have more or less everything set up. So I got this stamp set from Samantha K, which is absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to use this stamp. So I've got it on my my block. I'm using this watercolour cardstock that I got from Tonic Studios. It is a US size A2 and you get 15 sheets in, and it's absolutely perfect sizing. I do have to cut it down to fit onto my A6 cards, well, UK A6 cards. But I just thought, when I got this stamp, I just really wanted to have a play, and I just thought, how gorgeous and simple will it be as yeah, as a card. Now, you don't have to use stamps like this. You can use any large stamp in your collection. This isn't a Christmas stamp. This is just well, I'm assuming it's berries and leaves, which is just absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, like I say, it doesn't have to be a Christmas stamp. It can be anything. So for those in your family or your friends that love just a plain simple card, this one will turn out really, really well. Now, I'm not looking for perfection with the stamp. If I do get it, then I get it, but I tend not to. I don't want it as perfect as I would normally want it, which is why I'm not, because I'm using watercolour paper, it's got texture on it. So normally I would bring out my stamping platform, because you would need to stamp it a few times. However, I like it with that distressed look, so if I don't get a perfect impression, then it is completely fine. So just pushing that down, and then it did that to me yesterday. Give it a quick rub, and there we are. So as you can see, it's like a distressed look, which is absolutely perfect. Now, we've got that because we are on textured paper, but like I say, I'm more than happy with that. I'm coming in with my gouache paints, so I am going to do, and like I said, this is really, really quick and easy. Ignore the colour of my water. I've been playing all day. The other thing that I've brought in, because I actually only have one of these sentiments, I only have one piece word. So I've actually got this little Christmas wishes die, which I have. That's a Merry Christmas one there and there. So I've cut it out, but I've taken off the star off the end, and I just think it looks really, really nice on there. Just like I say, really, really simple, but you can use any sentiment at all that you have. Now, I do need a paintbrush. I'm not sure what I did with my little blue one, actually. What about that one? Try that one. Don't know, this is a natural hair brush. I don't normally go for the natural hair brushes, because yeah, I can't seem to paint very well with them. But I don't, oh, there's the one that I was using. So I was using this, which is a synthetic one, and then this is a natural haired one. But let's try the natural haired one, because like I said, I did buy them, so let's use it and see how we get on. So I'm just adding water onto my leaves, and I'm going to be using 3 different colours of green. So I'm going to use one colour for all the way around, and it depends on how intense you want the colour as well, yeah, to what you're going to what colours you're going to use. So I've just got these 3 greens here. So we've got pale green, sap green and seaweed. So they're the colours that I'm using today. So that is in our gouache paint set. So I'm just going to spray and activate them. So it is best to activate your paints. Really, it'd be better if I left it for a good minute. But yeah, I haven't. So right, so I'm just getting some pigment on my brush, and then I'm just going to come in at the ends. I am going to spread this colour out. But yeah, so just like that. So making it nice and like even. Well, not, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the beauty of watercolouring. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're doing a nice light loose colour just to get that base down. So I've got a cloth off to the side of me, which I am wiping off the excess paint from my excess water and paint from my brush. So I should really bring it into shot, but it's just my little rag, so I just dab it off, and then that helps me control the amount of water that I put on. So okay, so that's those done. So then I'm going to go on to the next colour, which is just this little bit of a darker colour. So this is our sap green, and again, just we don't want too much. And then I'm just going to go where it's sort of going to be darker and just pull it in and just let the watercolour do its work. So just, yeah, along these edges and then up there. And again, it's just bringing in that sort of different tones. It's a bit too much. There we go. A tiny little bit on here. So, but it is such an easy, relaxing, therapeutic card to make. So, highly recommend you do it. You don't have to use expensive watercolours. You could even just use, I know the pound shop do a little kids palette, so you could even just use that. You know, you really don't have to use the best quality, because we're just looking at the colours. Now, if you do use a very limited palette, you'd have to work out what you'd need to add to darken up your colours. So just that last little bit. There we go. And then the last one I'm going to bring in is this one, which is the seaweed. It's got other few colours mixed in, but well, it's just got the different greens mixed in, but we're going to just use that for the darker colour. And that one, we just do the same again, but just not as far. So I have that more or less just going up this, up our line bit. And I do that on all of them. So just like this. Oh, I do love it. But I was sat and just, yeah, having a nice play and couldn't believe how quick and easy, and I thought, you know what, I have to share this with you guys, and I think it would make a lovely card for our 12 days of Christmas as well. Just soak some of that up because there is a bit too much water on there, so just grabbing some more of that pigment just to go in these bits. So I'm not overly worried with how the paint's going down, as you can see. I'm just sort of tapping where I really want it to go. And then the last thing that I tend to do is I then just get my brush and then I just sort of blend out the sides just a little bit, just so that it's a nice sort of blend. So just like that, and only if it needs it, so not all of these need it. So as you can see here, this is like a really sharp line. I don't want that, so I just come in and I just yeah, blend that out. So yeah, there we go. Right, okay, so there's that. Now for the centres we'll use red, so I'm going to use, let me find my card, and we are going to use scarlet red and crimson red. So they're the two reds that we're going to use from this palette. So again, let's activate them. I'm just going to mix them up. Now I do have a bit of red and brown mix here as well. So the brown that I used to mix that is the Bordeaux red, actually, is what I used to mix it. No, sorry, the burnt sienna is the one that I use. Right, I'm going to start off with our scarlet red because it is a lighter red. So that's the colour that we're going to start off with. So making sure that's nicely activated, and we've got plenty on our brush. I do need a bit of water though. And then, as you can see, just going around all of these. Ideally you want them to be dry, but I'm not going up to the edge because I want some white space, so this prevents me from sort of going right up to the edge of my berries, which I really like. Okay, so just take most of this off like that. That sounds like hubby is home. Okay, so then I'm going to come in with the with our crimson red, and I'm just going to start adding the darker colours in. So just blend them out like this. Thank you. So and this is just to give it nice highlight areas, and again I'm letting the watercolours do its work because I just think it looks gorgeous when it starts sort of bleeding into each other. Now it is starting to bleed into here, but that is fine because we still have time where we can mop that up, but I don't mind it, so it's fine. Just fill that in again. So this is why really you should dry your pieces. So just take off that excess water, which will help. Right, I'm going to use this, just this little bit of darker one, and then we're just going to add that in, just all the way around. And like you can see, this is not perfect. I do not know much about watercolouring. I just know that I really like to play with it, and I like to experiment, so, and that's really what it's all about. So yeah, just going to add a little bit more of the lighter one, and just like that, and then just blend those two colours together. Okay, so there we have it. So what we'll do is we'll wait for that to dry. Once it has dried, so here's one that I did earlier, we put some glitter on. So I've just put little dabs of glue on, and as you can see there's just glitter in the centre, but I do want to add some white and black splashes, so I'm just going to activate those two, just because I think it looks really nice when you put some splashes on, although that's gone pink now, of course. So let's add some white. Okay, so there's our white splashes, and then let's do our black splashes. I haven't done his card yet. I told my husband I'm doing my nephew's card, but all this was still out, so I thought I'd do this one first. So he's looking at me funny. Right, okay, so, and then there is the black splashes. So that is all we do. So then we're just going to wait for that to dry. But what I'm going to do is I'll go off camera, I'm going to get my heat gun, and I'm going to dry them off, and then we'll put the rest of the card together. Okay, so I'm back. Right, all we're going to do is I'm going to cut these down. So these are my card bases, which is just an A4 sheet of cardstock, 200 GSM, folded in half and then cut in half. So it measures 5 7/8 by 4 1/8. So I'm going to do this. So the card is 5 1/2. So, and then I'm going to cut it down. So I'm going to cut one side down to 4, and then I'm going to take about 1/8 off the other side. And let's see how that looks. So yeah, that looks fine. So it is 3 7/8 by 5 1/2. So that's what I've cut it down to. So let me just do the other one as well. But but because I don't want too much taking off just one side, that's why I'm sort of turning it around to take stuff off the other side. And then I just need the tiniest amount of that top bit. There we go. Right, okay, so now that's done, and let's get these stuck down before I add the last bit. So I haven't added the glitter onto this one yet. I'm going to do that at the end. So I do have, I've got 2 card bases here. So I just need my double-sided tape. And what I'm going to do, because it is watercolour cardstock and it has buckled, because we've obviously had water on it, is the whole back of this is going to be, I'm just going to put lots and lots of double-sided tape on, because I want this to really adhere down. So just like that. And then where I've gone over, I'm not worried about that, because when we take the thing off, the backing off, we can literally just push it over, so I don't worry if I go over the edge. So just like that, and then we know we're all good. So just take the rest of these off. The other thing I was trying to work out is whether or not to do a border, because it's very bland. However, I don't think I'm going to. I think it'd look nice with a border, but I really like how delicate it looks. I mean, how gorgeous is that? And sometimes I think less is more. So let's do this one. Okay. So again, lots of double-sided tape. So I highly recommend using lots of adhesive when doing any sort of watercolouring, whether it be on the proper cardstock or whether, like me, which I tend to do a lot, forget to stamp it onto watercolour cardstock and just do it on normal paper, because you do get warping. So by doing this, you're ensuring that it's going to be nice and straight. So just take these off like this, and then let's just put the sentiment on, do that little bit of glitter, and we're done. So how cool is that? So yeah, I wasn't expecting to do another Christmas video, because I want them all to be sort of quite unique and quite different, but like I say, that stamp came through the door and he just loved it. Oh, I quite like it with the big one down at the bottom. So I've turned them both different ways. Okay, there we are. So that's nice and adhered down. So to add the glitter on, all I am doing is just these little dots, little round circles. I'm just popping in some of my glue. I'm using Nouveau glue. I tend to use art glitter glue, but yeah, this is the one that I'm using at the moment, so I'm swapping in between the two. I do actually like both. And then all I'm doing is I'm just getting my glitter and then sprinkling it on like this, and then just leaving it for about a minute just for it to adhere to it. Let's move that to one side. And then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab our sentiment, and there's Quincy. Now I've got this one that's got stars in, so I'm going to use the stars one on this one, and then we've got this one that just says Christmas wishes, so I'm going to use both types. I'm going to go and sort out Quincy and then I'll be back. Sorry about that. Right, okay, so last thing to do, so I'll just do it on this. On this one I'm going to do, I'll finish it off a camera. So yeah, so this is day number 5 of our 12 days of Christmas. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do, oh, dropping it. My hands are getting worse. I keep dropping everything all the time. I actually dropped my iPad and smashed the screen. So I was not a happy bunny when I did that, I can tell you. So I've bought a drop proof case for it, so I'm hoping that helps. So if I drop it again, it won't smash. So it's a kiddie proof case, but looks quite cool. So yeah, we'll see what it's like. Anyway, I don't think you need to hear about that. Right, that is it for today. So there is our card. Like I say, very, very simple. If you wanted to add gems on or anything like that, you could. But how gorgeous is that? And then here's another one. So this is just a lot paler. I haven't put as much pigment on, and I've used a word for it. And then if you didn't want to use it as a Christmas card, I've done one in purple, which I just think looks so pretty. So that one I'm going to turn into a birthday card. But I wanted to come on just a quick, easy, simple card to make for Christmas. So just using watercolours and a stamp, any stamp that you have in your collection. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Sorry for the interruptions with our lovely Quincy. Well, Quincy was barking at my husband. He'd just nipped out to the car. But that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Oh, don't forget to tune in as well tomorrow for day number 6. Yeah, going to be exciting. I don't know what it's going to be yet. So yeah, that's it. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.